Going guys, Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 7 ways in which you can deal with an annoying griefer in a Grand Theft Auto Online lobby. So I saw this post on the GTA forums by Dr. Rosenthal, and I thought it was pretty interesting, and these strategies to deal with a griefer or a troll or someone that is ultra tryharding, just trying to destroy either your cargo or ruin the fun in the session. These tips can be very helpful for you, and we're going to be talking about 7 strategies today. Now, the reason this is important is because sometimes you can't get around being in a public lobby. The way Rockstar have their business stuff set up, you have to be in a public lobby in order to do the finance and felony stuff, import-export stuff, biker, bunker, smugglers run. You have to be in a public lobby, which opens you up to players like this. So unfortunately, there's no way to be completely alone really ever in a public session. So these tips will be super helpful. All right, strategy number 1, agree between yourself and the other organizations to vote to kick anyone that is simply griefing or trolling or anything like that. So it's pretty easy too. You can just use the message function to, alert the other players in the session, maybe write the name of the one who's behaving that way, and they might understand and see what you mean, and they might agree to get that person out of there. Now, I've noticed this works really well when you have one person that seems to be harassing multiple groups, and thus you have power in numbers. And this isn't abusing really any system. The vote to kick feature has been in the game since day one, and there's a reason Rockstar have included it and haven't removed it. So it's definitely something I think you should take advantage of. Power in numbers helps here. I don't know the exact number it takes to kick a griefer or a troll out of the lobby. I think it's 50% of the people need to do it. So you will need, if it's a full lobby, at least 15 players, which is a lot. But again, power numbers and work with the other organizations. All right, strategy number 2, call Lamar and use a mugger and mug whoever is offending you. So the strategy for this is to do it as often as possible. I think the wait time is either 8 or 9 or 10 minutes. However, the only downside with the mugger is sometimes it won't be able to reach the target. Now, to counter this, one should call Lamar shortly after the griefer, the troll, has been killed. That way you make sure he's on foot so that the mugger can reach him. Also, as a side note, the mugger might also be able to steal the victim's vehicle, which would sting as well. So when you get mugged in-game, this random NPC looking guy will kind of stab you or prick you with a knife. They'll take a little bit of your money and it'll force you to fall to the ground like you've been hit with a stun grenade or something like that. And it's really cool to obviously watch it happen. And sometimes they will steal your vehicle if that is indeed around. But it is certainly a nuisance, and if it's done to a griefer or a troll over and over and over again, they might consider just leaving the lobby and looking for greener pastures. So that is strategy number 2. Strategy number 3, and I think this one is the one that probably works the least, but if someone is playing really aggressively in an indiscriminate manner, follow them around and just be a nuisance to them. So you can do this until they choose to leave, although as I mentioned earlier, this does require time and patience, and it might not necessarily do the trick. And the one thing I do see about this advice is it might be a way of feeding the troll, as that might just encourage them to do this behavior. But if you do some minor nuisances to them, either make it difficult for them to grief and troll other players, maybe you will get lucky and maybe they'll not only leave you alone, but decide to leave the other players alone as well. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this one. Like I said, I feel like feeding a troll just makes them a little bit more, reluctant to end up doing what they're doing, but that is still strategy number 3. Strategy number 4, drive your most expensive cars and provoke them to blow it up. So when this happens, you're going to call Moore's Mutual, you can get a new one, and you can repeat the procedure. Now, what this is going to do to the player's account is it's going to drain their bank balance by a good bit. Now, this obviously wouldn't affect someone that has modded money or someone that has billions of dollars, as they don't care if, they blow up your T20 or your Osiris and it costs them $20,000 in order to get it back to you. But for the normal everyday griefer with a regular bank account, they will, because just blowing up 5 cars, 100 grand right there. And that can be done relatively quickly. So hit them where it hurts, and sometimes that's the wallet. And money does talk in Grand Theft Auto Online, so bringing out your expensive cars and basically just using it as a money shield is kind of one good way to get rid of a griefer or get rid of a troll. Number 5, and this one's probably as simple as it gets, place a bounty on them. If you want the entire lobby to team up against one person, put a $10,000 bounty on someone. Even though you only get 9 grand, you'd be surprised how many people really are excited to get that 9 grand. I also think it has something to do with the fact you get that like red X on your name. It kind of is enticing for other players to want to kill you. So if you do that, it'll take the griefer away from being able to focus on griefing, as other players are going to be able to start killing him, and obviously they're going to be taking him out, they're going to be distracting him, and they're going to be getting him away from his objective, which is hurting other players. So that right there is strategy number 5. Strategy number 6, disappearing from the lobby without quitting the game. So what you can do is go off the radar and then go to a random job that either Martin Madrazo or Gerald invites you to in game. Now, once you accept that random job, don't invite anyone, just set the matchmaking to close and wait in the lobby. Now, at this point, the griefer can't do anything to you. He can't kill you, he can't find you, and he can't waste your time. And this will allow you to take a break from the game, do some stuff IRL, and maybe this will give the griefer the opportunity to move on to greener pastures or just completely forget about you. So after 5 minutes or so, you can come back in the game. Who knows, you might be able to take the griefer by surprise. You can do sort of like a hit and run, but it's much better than going in passive mode and just sitting there. Obviously, it'll keep you safer because you can still die in passive mode. Like, for example, if someone bails out of a car and then they end up just running it into you, that'll kill you. So that is safer than passive mode, and that is number 6. And number 7 is probably the most simple strategy of them all, and that is to just ignore them. So this might actually work, as some trolls, or I would say most in my opinion, feed on the attention you give them. So if you ignore them, you go about your stuff. And if they realize they have no effect on you, they're going to get bored really, really quickly. Trust me, I know this from personal experience, that if you just seem to walk away or go inside your office or your bunker or something like that, they'll typically just go away after a little bit. So those right there are the 7 strategies you can use to try and foil griefers or trolls' attempts against you in Grand Theft Auto Online public lobbies. Now, some things, like I said, I have heard about these methods. Number 1, the mugger method is a little bit hit and miss, just because if they're not on foot, it is kind of tough for them to actually work. So that's why you can kill them, wait till they're on foot, and then they will actually get hit by the mugger. And if you feel like none of those strategies are good enough for you, well, luckily Rockstar has added a lot of countermeasures for pretty much everything there is in the game right now. Even though they're not the best, the jets, you have the explosive sniper rifle rounds, you have other jets like the Pyro, the Rogue, the Nakota, the Hunter in order to fight back. For the Vigilante, you can fight that with like a fully loaded Ruiner 2000. The Oppressor, you can fight that with the Vigilante. There's a lot of different things you can do to go back and forth with certain players. But I think those tips right there are pretty useful. And if you're new to Grand Theft Auto Online, it can be pretty hostile. It can be pretty intimidating, especially going into a public lobby where it seems like everyone has an objective of just killing each other over and over and over again. I think a strategy like this could ultimately work really well and could give you the upper hand in battles against griefers and trolls. But anyways, that's all the information I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know in the comments section down below if you've got any fun tips or tricks that you use against trolls or tryhards or griefers in Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, where you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.